Welcome back to Framotech channel. This is Stay Ahead of the Market session. We're going to talk about Bitcoin analysis, but before then, we will dive into the news world and know what is currently happening. Without wasting much of our time, let's get started. However, make sure you subscribe to the channel, click on the bell notification if you are new here, and remember to give this video some likes. Okay, what do we have? Trump is not happy as Israel and Iran both claimed ceasefire violations. So Israel and Iran are not surely ready to back off. According to Trump, last time or yesterday or so, maybe a few days ago, the U.S. government interceded in the war between Israel and Iran, and he announces that they are going to cease fire as he will strike at Iran's nuclear station. And because of that, the market reacted. And yesterday we saw, even though on Monday we saw a bullish momentum whereby everything was going up. So it's good for the world to get seized so that the market can be free. And so Trump is not happy because these countries are dragging to ceasefire. However, we pray that everything goes smoothly. The next news is, one of the news that got us dumped last week is because of the Fed chairman announcement on a rate cut, which didn't happen, even though he has promised to do rate cut twice this year. It didn't happen, and because of that, market dump. Today, Powell has testified on the interest rate policy that they have decided. Despite Trump was not happy because he said U.S. could have raised a lot of money if the rates were cut off, and because of that, Trump was calling him dumb and a lot of stuff. But he's saying that their decision is firm. They have studied the economy and it remains uncertain, and because of that, they are still learning more about the likely course of the economy before they will consider any adjustment in the policy right now. So, as it is, nothing happened. Market is back green though, but the rate cut is also very important. And because of the war, oil price was very higher. It was going high. And right now, because of the ceasefire news, oil price has dropped more than 4% after Trump says China can continue to buy oil from Iran. And so it's good. It's good when we have oil dropping because it helps the economy. Every country rely on oil. That's the energy powering everything. And if the price is up, economy is going to be hard. So that's it. Now let's go to crypto-centered news. This report says crypto's revolution is not just about the tech behind, but it's about humanity. So it's about restoring dignity and agency to those left behind by traditional finance. So, because of the decentralized nature of crypto, you can make your own money without relying on any central bank or people trying to regulate you and stuff. So, because of that, crypto is free. Everybody can jump into it and play with it. That's it. And it has raised a lot of millionaires, by which if they were depending on the traditional finance, none of them could have been at that stage. So that is crypto for you. Nice report. And that's the true nature of crypto. They are not leaving anyone behind. All of us should come on board. Let's talk about Bitcoin. Meta plans to inject $5 billion into U.S. subsidiary, all to buy Bitcoin. these institutions keep on buying Bitcoin to store. Bitcoin price is going to skyrocket one day because this institution never stop buying. Right now, MetaPlanet is going to inject $5 billion into BTC, and that is good news. And Michael Saylor, who used to be buying Bitcoin all the time, he says he backs Japan's MetaPlanet after record-breaking BTC push. This bull run, MetaPlanet has been buying Bitcoin. They bought 117 million in 2025, and their goal is to buy 10,000 Bitcoin earlier before. So if these guys are going to buy 10,000 Bitcoin, they are going to push the price. So they said Michael Saylor praised MetaPlanet as their stock also surges over 30% because of their investment into crypto. Michael Saylor MicroStrategy, because of his investments, his stocks has also been skyrocketing, and it means that those people coming back to crypto, they are seeing massive gains in their stocks. All right. What do we have again? What do we have again? I have a good news on BNB. Before that, now Japan new rules could set the pace for legalization of Bitcoin ETFs, and because of that, money is going to flow into the system. Their plan is to reclassify cryptos and digital assets and legalize ETFs so that investors can buy more contracts, and also they will put a tax of 20%. 20% on digital assets income. And this is win-win for crypto. A lot of people are going to buy more as Japan plans to legalize Bitcoin ETF. So that's very good. That's very good. Now on Ethereum, one of the co-developers proposed that Ethereum should reduce the block time from 12 seconds to 6 seconds. Why? Because it is going to make transactions more faster, confirmation is going to be faster, and transaction is going to be faster. And so it is a good news for Ethereum if this is going to happen. So shorter slot time makes the confirmation service better, and so have the potential to raise service price beyond where it is today. So he explained further that transactions and confirmations are going to be what? And Ethereum will be more scalable if they do this. It is also going to be more scalable. By then, we will have done a lot of healthy scaling and likely reach blocks with 3 times the current gas limits. Also, the gas price is also going to be reduced if they are able to make it more scalable. So that is good news. When it is having good news, it means altcoins are also going to have good news because a lot of them are on Ethereum. Now, good news on BNB. Nasdaq listed Nano Labs plans to buy $1 billion in BNB, and their intention is to buy 10% of the entire supply right now, the current supply, and that's massive. So today they are starting with $1 billion buying BNB. BNB is so cool to invest. If you compare it, top 3 projects, and it is trading at $600 plus or so. So this is good news for BNB. Now let's talk about stable coins. Stable coin investment or stable coin transaction is rising very high. On today's Circle, The issuer of USDC, which is the second largest stablecoin, has its stock rise 800% since its June IPO, and that is very big, bigger than the entire supply of USDC currently. So they have hit 66.9 billion, which is bigger than 61.3 billion circulating supply of its own dollar, that's the USDC, and it is nearing 78 billion Coinbase market cap. So that is good. Now they should even get, because USDC is very hot right now. So that is good for stable coins. Some people invest into stable coins through yield farming. So you stake your stable coins on yield farming platform, then you get some percentage returns. I'll make a video on platforms that you'll be able to stake your coins. And look at the market, is green. Everything is pumping. Everything is green right now. Everything is green. Arbitrum pumping, Wave pumping, SEI pumping, a lot of pumps because of the good news that we have in the market. Now let's talk about good news on Sui blockchain. The Navi teams up with OKX to roll out XBTC lending on Sui network. And so they are going to do lending on Sui blockchain. And this is going to enhance liquidity, bringing DeFi on Sui platform by top giant exchange OKX and Navi. Is very cool for the Sui network, and we will talk about Sui. It's very bullish. This network is very bullish, and so we are going to talk about all the coins mentioned in this news. We are going to refer back to them. So the entire crypto market cap is now sitting at 3.24 trillion. More cash. People are expecting a 100% boost from here. Crypto should get more than 3.24 trillion. So when this kind of thing doubles up, a lot of pumps are going to happening in the market. Now, yesterday, fear greed index was around this zone. Now it is back to neutral, which is very good. People are not afraid, and market is in a good condition. However, altcoin season is still down. We've still not confirmed altcoin season yet. Why? Because Bitcoin is still dominating. Bitcoin dominance is still very high, and that is why the altcoins are still dropping lower to create more lows. However, as I said, you can keep stacking altcoins. You buy their dips. You don't wait for this altcoin season like 75 thereabouts before you say we are in altcoin season. You're going to buy. You have to buy in important zones if you are stacking altcoins. So now trending coins, SEI has appeared in trending coins, and we are going to talk about SEI2. All right, now it's time for us to do BTC analysis, Bitcoin analysis. Okay, so the last time I said BTC likely to break this zone here. You know, I said this was kind of downtrend, so it break, and we talk about this fair value gap here. So for the meantime, Bitcoin grab liquidity here from this fair value gap, and I said when they took liquidity here, they were not able to break the all-time high, and for that matter, BTC need to revisit here. The liquidity was not enough, so it has to come back to the gap and pick some liquidity. So now we have the trend line broken. BTC now trading above the trend line. And so what is it going to do? What is my sentiment on it? Right now there are two scenarios. It's either BTC, as it is trading here, will break through. This trend line is no more strong to hold BTC. So there is a probability that Bitcoin will break through this trend line. And if it breaks through this trend line, it is likely to come back to retest. If you check the chart, we've created another lower low. However, there is something we should pay attention to. The first trend line was here. The resistance trend line was this one. BTC breaks through and picks some liquidity here. And it decided to form another bearish trend line here. So my assumption is that BTC should not cross this 108,000. So it's likely to go and grab liquidity within this zone, 108,000, just as this one, before it will come back and break, or it will not even go there. Even though there's a gap here, it can just kiss here without breaking through, kiss this side here, 106,000, then it drops below. And we discuss about other places where it can, we talk about a fair value gap here. So right now we are back into the resistance zone. So pay attention to 106K and also 108K here. It's likely to short back to this stage. However, the other side is, if BTC is able to close above this man here, then we are going to get a new all-time high, frankly. To be frank with you, if BTC closes a candle above here, then we are going to have a new all-time high. Now let's get back to one of the coins that we mentioned, Sei coin. In our inner circle team, we just traded short for this guy. We took profit along this line. We entered from here, then we took profit. So those guys, congratulations for taking this step. A lot of you were not able to trade when the call came. So news says this guy, Sei, is trending bullish, about 40% pump. Now let's do a proper chart analysis. This pump is very huge. Sei, it has break through the trend line. This trend line, it has break through. And of course, when there is a break, there is a retest. And this retest, I think SCI is likely to fill some gaps here. Testing here, maybe it will fill this gap. Likely to fill the gap here. So it's likely to drop to maybe 0.265, or of course come back big time to test here the breakout point, because a lot of traders are interested in this point. And so this is going to be a bigger zone of importance or interest. This one is minor, where you can buy and still go and take profits from here. But if this breakout is a true breakout, because that's close above the line, and then the next target of Sei is going to be let's draw some Fibonacci to cover. So there are a lot of pump coming. At least SCI is likely to move to the 50% Fibonacci retracement zone. My highest stake for this coin is 0.5. SCI is likely to go to 0.5 with this current pump that is happening. But after they break out retesting confirmation, the first target is the 50% fib level. Is going to be 0.436. Then the other target is going to be the 0.5. Why I don't want it to go? It's not like I don't want it to go here. And lastly, the third target is likely to be at the 0.56. And if you check there is some kind of fair value gap there. That gap is here. There's a gap here. So it is likely to fill that gap and also trade at the 70% fib level. So what you are going to do for shorting, it's not good for shorting for longer time for scalping, but you can target this zone here to stack more SEI coin, SEI coin. Can target this zone to buy more and go and take profit around 90 something percent for stock. For futures, you need to be cautious and trade with leverage that very small if you want to target this for long term. All right, so let's talk about SUI network. SUI. SUI is going to be bullish right now because of the XBTC staking or lending that OKES and Navi is bringing on the network. So for the meantime, I still think SUI is going to be bullish. But right now, should I call for more buy on SUI network? No. I won't call for buy on SUI right now. Let me share my honest sentiment on SUI. SUI is likely to come back to this line. It's likely to come back to this line. And you know, this place is a zone of interest here. It's a zone of interest, and we have to test it back to see whether it is strong enough to hold. So for my sentiment on SUI, I still think SUI is likely to drop from here back to this zone before a possible move up. So that's my sentiment on SUI. Let me try to draw some trend line. You know, the latest trend line, there is a breakout here though, but retest will be around here, and I think it is going to break it down to this point. That's my personal view. So don't buy SUI right now. Let's wait for more confirmation so that we can stack SUI below here. And when we buy here, we can target more profit. Yeah, around that zone, that is 3.5. We can even cover the entire this thing here. So now if we check the chart, this is the zone of interest on the resistance, that's 5, and this place is also another zone of interest. So SUI is likely to form this kind of rainbow, tap into the zone of interest, then it move up. So that's my sentiment on SUI. Now let's go to BNB, also captured here. Scary chart. That's BNB. We have done a lot of analysis before, so the data is still there. We do our trend line, I try to make my analysis very simple, ignoring some of the indicators and also giving you a general overview without complicating things. So that's why I do the trend line analysis alone. I draw some fib levels. So this trend line is holding BNB. So the support right now, BNB support is on this trend line here. And we are still yet to break it down big. So BNB, if they are going to buy 1 billion, it's like they've already bought it, but we are yet to see. As they buy more, BNB is likely to sell. But this zone of interest have been there for long. Anytime it comes here, it taps into this zone of interest. Right, it's trying to come back to the zone of interest again. Let's see. At this point, it is likely to, that almighty trend line will still give BNB. When it breaks, it will pick liquidity in this zone of interest. So we can target BNB around this point here. Can target it at 471.5. 471.5. However, let me look at this micro squeeze. Yeah, it's trading down. It's a downtrend, forming more lows. It's a downtrend. So that is my sentiment on BNB. You have to target around 480. Then, boom. When there is a massive pump again, then we see BNB. Of course, we cannot go and leave Ethereum behind because it's our altcoin indicator. Let's talk about Ether. Ether is still bullish. We've been dealing with Ether. We also propose Ether should pick some liquidity, and that has been grabbed already. And so now that we have liquidity grab, Ether is going up. And I think altcoins are going to follow. So Ethereum is likely to form a new all-time high after this liquidity grab. Very sure it's likely to form a new all-time. And if you look at it, it is trading higher above the line. It's trading higher above the line. The likely probability is that maybe this fair value gap will be filled. Then Ether is likely to pump from here and set a new all-time high. 2008. To clear this guy before you dream of setting new all-time high, which is 4K. So that is Ether. It will still go higher. 22% from here is likely. So let's just pay attention to Ethereum. All right, that's the end of this video. Thank you for watching. Nothing here shared here as a financial advice. Make sure you invest with what you can afford to lose. Not losing, you're going to win. And also keep subscribing to the channel. Share the channel to your friends. Thank you.